Hey everyone, my name is Maren Schroeder. I'm the Coalition Director for the MN is Ready Coalition. We are a coalition of advocacy organizations and members of the cannabis industry working in Minnesota to legalize cannabis. I believe this will be the last MN is Ready candidate of the day. I have Representative Athena Hollins here. I'm going to give her a minute to introduce herself, and then we'll jump into some Q&A.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Athena Hollins. I represent District 66B, which is actually right across the road from Snelling. I don't represent the fair, but I represent everything east of the fair all the way to the east side of St. Paul. Super happy to be here.
Awesome. Super happy to have you. The first question is, why do you think Minnesota is ready for full legalization?
So my basis that Minnesota is ready for full legalization of marijuana is really based on my experience being here. I mean, I think when we talk to the people and we hear from constituents, they are saying that they are ready for this. And we've seen that as evidenced in the Delta 9 legalization that just happened. People were flocking to the stores, they were ready to buy, they were interested in figuring out how to procure, and not only that, but they were super creative in how they want to see it distributed, which lets me know that people are ready for this to happen.
I feel like we have some of the creativity here right now.
Oh, yeah.
What is the most important piece of policy that should be considered when Minnesota legalizes cannabis?
That's so hard because there's so many really important pieces of policy that need to be considered.
Okay, what is your personal, I want to make sure this is right?
Okay, so there's two things. One is the racial equity aspect of it, because we know that communities of color have been historically over-policed because of marijuana usage and marijuana selling. And so we actually have to rectify that. If we're going to recognize that this is not actually a problem, this is something that people can use recreationally, we need to right the wrongs that we've done. And that means going back and looking at incarceration records, it means expungement, and it means trying to make sure that whatever we do going forward is going to be equitable for those communities, because a lot of communities, that's how they have survived and thrived. The other part of it is the taxation. And that's a big one for me, because that means money coming into our communities to do all the things that we love to do. Supporting schools, building parks, having bike paths, all of the good things that make Minnesota a fun place to live should be supported by the marijuana industry that hopefully will come.
So some very red states, including South Dakota, have gotten a little further in their cannabis policy development than we have. Some of them have even legalized the adult use. So why can't Minnesota get it done, and what hurdles do you see to legalizing cannabis here?
Yeah, can I just say, I've gone to 4 different conferences this summer that are legislative conferences, and it's embarrassing how far behind we are in Minnesota. It is shameful when we talk to other people, when we talk to other states that are much redder than our state is, and they're like, yeah, we legalized it. Of course we did. It makes us money. It's fun. Brings in tourism. Obviously we did this. And I have to sit there and be like, no, we're still working on it. That sucks. So let me just get that off my chest. But I will also say, we are one of 2 divided legislatures in the entire country. So that means that our House is Democratic and our Senate is Republican. And so getting everybody to be on the same page about things is more of an exercise of politics than it is an exercise of policy. It has more to do with people voicing their opposition about something simply because it's a culture war and less because it's actually bad policy. And so if we can get people to recognize on both sides of the aisle that this is something that is a moneymaker, that the people want, and that is going to be an overall benefit for our state, I think we can come to a resolution about this, and I think we can get it done.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that was great. That was great. So why do you personally support full legalization?
So I support full legalization from a personal standpoint of, I think if cigarettes and alcohol are legal. There's absolutely no reason why marijuana shouldn't be legal. But also in a very selfish way, I have a child. I have a 9-year-old. And if we are able to legalize it, that means we can control and regulate who has access to it. Right now, it is a black market, which means there could be literally anybody in the streets at your kid's school who is offering to sell things, and things that may or may not actually contain THC, people who don't know how much it contains, that they're getting it from different producers. It makes it a lot more, I don't want to say dangerous because it's THC, so it's not really dangerous, but it makes it a lot more iffy, and it makes it a lot more iffy for my child, right? And so I want to make sure that when my kid does eventually have an experience with marijuana, that it's going to be positive, and that it's going to be something where she knows what she's getting into, she feels like she's in a safe space, she didn't have to go to anybody sketchy to procure it, and she's able to do so like safely and enjoyably and have a great experience with it. And I think that's what all people in Minnesota deserve.
Dude, you're so good. Wow.
I'm glad you think so.
Wow, you should give more floor speeches.
Oh, geez. I'll work on it.
Okay. So I'm going to combine the last two questions here. What are you hearing from voters in your district about full legalization, and how can cannabis legalization supporters help get it across the finish line?
So in my district, the resounding message that I hear is they want legalization to happen. I would say 90% of the emails that I get about marijuana or cannabis is about, please make it legal. Please make it legal for recreational use, not just medical use. And if it's going to be just medical use, it needs to be broader than what it currently is, right? I mean, that's a whole nother topic.
Like, let's talk about that sometime.
But, you know, the resounding, overwhelming feedback that I have gotten is that they want it to be legal. And so what I have been encouraging folks to do, I let everybody know that I am in support of this. This is something that I'm fighting for. I voted to legalize recreational marijuana on the House floor back in 2021 when we had it come through. I will continue to support it, but if they want to get involved, and any of you want to get involved, I mean, great first step is talking to this organization right here. And the second step is really reaching out to your local elected officials and making sure that they know about that. Having conversations that might be difficult with your family members that aren't in deep blue parts of the state is also important. We know that marijuana usage is like prolific across the entire state of Minnesota, right? But the people who are represented in the entire state of Minnesota do not have folks who are voting for it. And so those folks need to know that this is something that's important to them, and it's something that they're willing to vote against somebody on.
I will also add, before I close, that you can take the first step today and pledge to vote. There are QR codes on some Min is Ready Coalition flyers hanging out there.
Oh my gosh, y'all better vote.
Yep.
All of you.
Yep.
Every one of you.
Everyone here. And there is a voter's guide on our website. If there is no information available for the candidates in your district, please tell them to respond to our questionnaire. Thank you so much, Minnesota Hemp Growers Co-op. You got more to say? Go for it.
No, I don't. Just like, it's really, 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 really important to get the vote out this year, you guys. So let's do it, okay?
Yep, I agree. Thank you to the co-op for having us, and thank you, Athena, for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.